did a whole monologue, and of course, you know, it didn't help. But I went, ah, that was me. So that is so great. Okay, and of course, you know, while this was going on, I thought of something that I thought was pretty brilliant. Of course, they wanted King Kong to stand up again, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I thought, what can I think of? King Kong stands up again. What if you don't see King Kong do this, but he takes off his cuffs and he throws them, and the sound makes him spin around. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Because it's like impossible. Come on, you know. You just got hit by a truck, and then you go, oh, well, fuck these handcuffs. I'll make sound with them. And nobody, it doesn't bother anybody. By that time, you already accept, which was the big challenge for the hitcher, that this guy can do some shit that is, you know, not normal. but it wasn't offensive. But anyway, so, yeah.
And you did most of your stunts on that film.
I did quite a few, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the car stunts was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I love fucking toys. Anything that moves, or sails, or whatever, or flies for that matter. I've tried it, and with the car, I raced cars in dirt, and I was circuit, and I got lessons from racing people.
It was a fun movie to make. I posted the movie yesterday on the event, so if you want to see the movie, it's all there. It's open source on YouTube, so you can check it.
Yeah, you have to find a version that looks best and sounds good.
I found a good one. Yeah.
No, anyway, it's more for stunt people. I get so much respect from stunt people, and to me that's cool. You know, if they go, yeah, I couldn't have done that. You know, that's for me. That's killer. and with the car stunt, you know, there was a car stunt where the car in the hitcher. This is the car drives out of the garage through the door. It makes a spin and stops, and then the character lights a match, I think, and drops it, and you know, everything gets on fire. But they couldn't get that spin around. And you know, I said to the director, you know, I can do this.
Let me try.
If you let me try it once, I can do it. And he went, okay. And then I did it, and then the stunt people went.
Still we got work.
Yeah.
And your transition to the United States, how did it go? How did you first have your first job? How did you get your first job in US?
Yeah, yeah. I was there for Soldier of Orange, had like a limited release in like 5 cities for, went to 5 cities for like a week or something, and I had to do publicity for it, or they asked me to do publicity. I went to New York, and basically did a lot of interviews, that's for it, and people said, are you planning to come work in America? And I went, huh? And they said, well, and people who were, close to me said, well, you might think about this because, there could be work for you. And I thought, okay, so I need an agent, a manager, and a PR person. I didn't know what to ask for. This is only in the time of a week, so the word gets out that you are looking for an agent, and you're hot for some, you're hot, okay? And then you get all these hustlers, spitting in your face,
of course,
and blowing smoke up your ass, and you go, I had no idea what to choose. Anyway, so there was one agent who was a literary agent, also a director's agent, and he had like Liz Taylor and some really big shots, and I went, fuck, okay. So I went with him. I'm telling you this because 2 weeks later I got an offer for a leading role in a film for $100,000. I mean, excuse me. And because I had a lawyer, we had a contract, we had a deal, and 2 weeks later they called and said, sorry, the film is not going. And then the lawyer said, sorry, but then what are you going to pay him now? And then they came up with half the money. So suddenly I had done hardly anything. Listen, open to the idea, done a few things, found some people, and then I had more money in my hand than I had done
Working all your
with
life.
all the years of acting, you know. So that felt like, well, you know, we'll see. And then I went back to Holland for like another, you know, I got work, I went back to Holland for 8 years. Okay, and you know, this was the first, this was the first offer. And the second offer, which was important, was there were two offers on the table. One by a very old and famous director, studio. It was a film in Egypt, and it was about, you know, some sort of treasure, la 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 la. We've seen it 100 times, and I was being a French lover. I went, huh? Oh, really? Okay. So I read the script. I thought it was boring, and then the other offer was Nighthawks, and it was a terrorist, and I thought it basically, you know, I read a little book that the real terrorist, you know, who was Santos, something. He was in Munich with the RAF Olympic Games, and he did a few other things. He wrote a little book that was pretty scary to read, and very interesting. And the script, I read the script, and I thought, funny, handsome man with brain, little brain, and let's say not stupid, and charm. Those are killers, you know. This is as a recipe for a terrorist. That's terrible, because they would never think that. You know, the bad guy, you know, behaves very nicely if he's not working. If he's working, you have to get out of the fucking way, because it's gonna, you know, it might kill you. And so that was the whole recipe for the role. And then, you know, I got to work with Stallone, and the whole film was pretty much one of the tougher shoots, because it was all night shoot. It was there were like a ton of egos in the film. You know, ego kills you. It's not the money, ego kills you. And but I finished it, and so that was the one that was the one that gave me like a little push in America, because the film was pretty good, you know. Stallone was not bad, but I was better. And that's kind of hard for, like, you know, just a terrorist, nothing. That the press talked about me and not so much about Stallone. That was, for me, there was victory, of course, and amazing. But because it was such a tough film, I thought, well, all right, it serves you well, and if I can do this, I can get through, you know. Because on this film, I thought, if this is American filmmaking, you can move on that for the next 10 years. And I know that I inspire people by, you know, by being who I am and what I did, la la la. And I feel it. And the funny thing is that I work with generations that come back for me because of my own work. So it's like, you know, I'm evolving with, you know, you. This is really amazing. Yeah. It's not my agent who's doing it. They're good, but it's like people are coming back from them because they saw me when they were 18, and when they're 28, they make their first film, and I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Because I do, 1/3 of my work is with first-time directors.
Yeah.
And I have to do that because that's where
and it gives you pleasure too, because.
But anyway, to answer your question.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Blade Runner.
Yeah, one of the funnier things is that everything you say no to creates what you will say yes to.
Yeah, closer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything you don't do creates the door to what you will do. And that's so funny, because that's a career you never read. I know that part, and I know what I said no to. And the funny thing is, okay, there was the film Das Boot. They were sniffing and scratching at me for the captain in the film. They ended up shooting it as a TV series too. It took 14 months to shoot the whole thing. I didn't know that, but I thought, I don't know, I think it's boring. So I said, no, I'm not interested. And this is the same year that Blade Runner happened, so, you know, oi. And Blade Runner has carried me for the last 30 years. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's because of me, but it's because of the audience coming back for it, and then some people going, okay, yeah, we'll show it at midnight. And then 25 years later, Ridley, plus, you know, having corrected a few mistakes in the film, plus the fact that it was his first cut anyway. He was, in the release, they couldn't quite figure out how to release this film. And so there were two thoughts. And Ridley didn't like the voiceover version, and it wasn't his version. But the studios thought that was better. And Ridley said, okay, go ahead. And 25 years later, I'm standing with Ridley, and I go, Ridley, what the fuck? I love this version. What happened? And he said, I fucked myself. I fucked myself by not saying no.
Punch the table,
Yeah.
say this my way. Yeah.
Yeah. But irony is that, I don't know, you know, this is what if, but when you think about it, the film might not have lived that long if it wasn't coming back like this. And it might, again, not have been reformatted in the digital format. You know, it might have not, now this film can live, you know, until the digital format, you know, kind of implodes or something. But there's a good chance that it is brilliant, and it looks better than the last copy I saw. Okay, that's the irony again, right? Which one is the real film now? You know, so yeah. So I said no, and then the Blade Runner happened, and then I got an invitation. The Blade Runner was cast. All the roles were cast. They offered me the role. I didn't have to test for it. I just had to have a conversation and see if I liked the script and to see if I could work with Ridley. It was that simple, and that was very unusual.
Yeah.
You know, the usual things I've seen from studios, but I also saw quite a few unusual things these things still happen. And this was just really, you know, for some reason, I don't know who advised him, I don't know how much he was into it, but he said, okay. And you know, the 3 year, we talked for 3 hours over lunch, and he thought I was dressed like a clown, is what I did later. And it probably was, but anyway, I thought it was funny. And he thought I was dressed gay. That was the fun. Wow.
I need a tough replicant. You cannot be that.
Anyway, but we, you know, the moment he mentioned Möbius and Bilal, and I read the script, and the only thing that I was concerned was if the replicants, were they moving funny, or were they, no, they weren't moving funny, they were better. Okay. And then he said to me, you, if anything, for me, I'm known for technical films. They call me a technical director. This is a character-driven movie. Give me anything you can give me that makes your character more interesting and works for the story. And then I went home and made a recipe for the replicant, where I put most of the things in that I read in the script, and then I kind of fantasized about things that I thought would be interesting, you know, a sense of soul, a sense of humor, a sense of, you know, erotic, you know, sexuality, which doesn't make any sense, poetry that was in the script anyway. Yeah, like a nice list of things that could pop up if you would hit them. And that's what we did when we shot. We would hit.
Did you have a lot of freedom to impose your view of Roy Batty to Ridley Scott?
Yeah, I had all the freedom that you can think of, but you know, I didn't need all the freedom. I just had enough ideas where, you know, every day we shot, I felt, because you know, I can read directors from about half a mile, and they don't know that I'm reading. The moment first of all, you feel, when you do a scene, you feel it. You feel that this take goes better than the other. And sometimes you can't put your finger on it, but it's like, it's the concert of everything together, okay? And then when you hear cut, my first look is at the director, and I see how he moves away from the camera. He used to operate himself because an operator. He loved operating himself. He sees everything in the shot. I mean, I'm always amazed about what directors, everything. They don't miss a beat in the shot, and you go. Anyway, so, no, but that's like a warm bath, when you know a director sees everything, well, you can't resist, you just have to go, wait. So for me, Blade Runner was, in many ways, it is, of course, we know that now, but when I did it, was for many ways a real liberation because I wasn't sure if I could hold a story on my shoulders in an English language film or American for that matter, but it's, and if that would work the same way, and if it was as much fun as I had when I shot it, because I was on fire, and I was one of the few people, I was never bored, I was always on it, and even when I had to wait for 3 hours, or I would sort of sense, go see the set, and see what they were doing, see the lighting, oh my God, these guys were so, I mean, if you see good craft, you're in awe, you can't be blind to it. So, and I learned on my feet, every film I learned on my feet what the crafts were of all these people, and I could always sort of smell the good prop guy. What's a good art director? Who's a good painter? What's a good DOP? What the camera. Dance with the camera. That's what an actor needs to do. Yeah. You can't. And the thing, small detail, but the thing is that in most films the camera is always in the right spot. I hate that because the camera shouldn't know where you're going to go. So there's like a play between the camera and you, and when they catch you. I don't know how to explain this, but it creates a small layer of that breaks the realism. If an actor, all these signals that actors give you, or filmmakers for that matter, that walk you into the story, they're warning you. I hate that. I can find this out myself. Why don't you take me with you and let's find out together? Don't tell me by the music what's going to happen, and don't tell me by the shots. But that's very personal. I find that the energy of a story and film needs to push you forward, or pull you, whatever you want to call it. But you have to, actively want to be there, and if it's intriguing enough, you will miss a lot because you're almost too anxious to move with the story. But the story is the only thing. I want the story to move everything, and then you can think about the shit later. The other one.
And one thing that is very interesting is when you play all these villains, you normally overshadow the protagonist. What happened in Blade Runner, which I think Roy Batty is 100 times more interesting than Harrison Ford, for example.
Harrison had problems with the part, and it was really struggling because there was a chemistry that was different with him, and there was a chemistry that was really different with Rachel, character Rachel. They were like, their hairs were standing up, and it's really, you can't buy it, but chemistry, is so, it's like, you can hold on to that, because it's like, but so, they had to just work, and as far as I know that Harrison, pretty much that he was on some sort of drug, I don't know what it was.